Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to J&A Small Engine, and today we're going to replace a impeller on a Mercury inboard engine. Alright, so we're going to start by taking off these bolts on the sides. These are going to be 16 millimeters. Alright, so before we remove the last bolt, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch and I'm going to take off the bolt in the back. A little... Oh. Alright, so since we're also going to replace the oil on the transmission, we're going to remove the lower, the screw on the bottom. That's the drain plug. And we also have one over here on the top. That's the vent. You open that so it can get air and all the oil can drip down. It's nasty oil. Alright, now that all the fluid is out, I'm going to take off the last bolt. Alright, so just remember, leave one bolt, just thread it in just a little bit so the transmission won't fall. Whenever you're ready. So these are only 4. You can use a 5/16 or an 8 millimeter. Alright, so now it's just time to put everything back together. This is our lock for the impeller. There's a slot right here. So it just goes right there. The impeller, I always like lubricating the fins with some petroleum oil grease. Just a little bit, just to help lubricate whenever you're installing it. And This little slot goes right there on that lock over there. And you can put this impeller whatever side. Just make sure that lines up right there. Just a little bit of grease right here. We're also going to put a new gasket there, and we're going to rotate the shaft clockwise. Remember, you always want to rotate it clockwise and push down there. Now just get our bolts and bolt away. When you're gonna set your transmission back in place, this little tube, this is where it sends the water into the engine. When you're gonna install it, it's gonna go inside that pipe. Let me show you. Alright, once it sits all the way in, it has some O-rings in here, so that makes it tight seal. Alright, so here we're going to use our 916. Now for our directional fin, we're going to use a 1/2 inch drive on this one. There, and our very last bolt is over here in the back. This is also a 1/2 inch drive. There, and our speedometer line. That one just goes clicked in. That's it. You're done. Alright, to refill your transmission with oil, you're going to use 80 weight 90 gear oil. You're going to use a pump. You're going to connect it on the bottom screw of the transmission, and you're going to fill it up all the way until the oil starts leaking out of this the oil vent. Once it starts leaking, you can disconnect it, put the plug back in, and plug it up here.
Ok, déjame ir quitándole esto.
Alright, so right there it's already starting to leak out. If I pump it one more, see? So now we're gonna get the plug and we're gonna plug this one first. En la mesa. This reservoir also goes to the transmission. This, you also fill it up with gear oil. This is to balance it out just in case the transmission fluid goes low. There it is. Right now we're just gonna start it. On the transmission we use about a quart and a half of gear oil. Just a quick recap on the tools you'll need. 16 millimeter for the transmission. You got a 9/16 going up, a 1/2 inch going down. On the back we have a 1/2 inch drive, that's a bolt, and of course the line, the rubber hose is it's just a clip. You just clip it off and just put it to the side. There's no bolts or pins to the gear shaft. And on the impeller housing, those are 4 bolts, which are 5/16 or 8 millimeter, and you know, that's to get to the impeller. So let's just get some water and turn it on. Alright, so just a little bit more info. This particular boat has been parked for at least a year. So all this black water coming out, that's just carbon buildup on the exhaust, just being flushed away with the water. On this boat, this is a 4-cylinder, so you would only have an exhaust port on one side, right here. And if your boat was a 6 or an 8-cylinder, of course you have an additional manifold, so you would have an exhaust on both sides. This one only has a port right there, but that's non-functional, only one side. Alright, so that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. And subscribe. I'll see you on my next video. Peace out.